Weekend, everybody. And it is so good to see more and more people each Sunday sitting in these pews. Wow, we're getting there. We are getting there. And I have to just say again, it's good to see Carl back tinkling the ivories again, and Kayleen always singing. Yes, that's welcome, Carl. Welcome back home. And always, what a blessing Kayleen is. And I want to just let you know that Kayleen, talking about butterflies in bloom, this girl is taking off and blooming. And as a result of that, her time here is going to be ending at the end of June. This is really hard for her and I. We're both crying this morning because, as hard as it is, and any of you parents know, when your kids grow and they leave the nest, you want them to leave the nest, you want them to grow, but you don't want them to go. So it's like this mixed emotions, and she's sad, but yet she's excited. Her music studio is busting out the seams in northern Kentucky. And her playing out, she's playing out every Friday and Saturday night and shows up here on Sundays looking like a model. I don't know how she does it. And her writing, composing music, writing, composition is growing, and she's doing originals. So, how can we say, don't go? That's like telling the butterfly, stay in there. Stay in there. No, you cannot come out. We want you to fly. So we're blessed, and we have been blessed the whole time you've been here cocooning, ready to emerge. So thank you, Kelly. Now remember, we got her till the end of June, so that's a good thing. So hold the vision that the right and perfect person comes to fulfill her slot. So what did I title this? So is this the new normal? Why did I come up with that title? Because, we've been dealing with this pandemic for a long time and trying to figure out what's the new normal. What's the new normal? And for me, I have been dealing for a couple weeks with just a lot of changes going on here with our congregation, with volunteerism, and I'm like, I don't even know what's normal anymore, and I have felt that way. And have any of you felt that way for the last year? Yes, we're all in this, aren't we? And our world, it's not just us in our community or our country, is it? It's the world is feeling this way. So I ask you, are you finding absences in your life due to the experiences that we've all gone through this last year called the pandemic? Absences. Anybody feeling the absences of things, of people? So I ask you, what's been missing? What's still missing? As we're starting to come out of this, as we're emerging out of this cocoon that we've been in for a year, what are you still missing? Loved ones, friends, community. We've all been missing it, or have we been learning to live without it? Yeah. I see a lot of heads, big nodding. Yeah, we had to learn to live without it. We had to learn to live with no touch, no seeing, no going to the nursing homes, no going to the hospitals, no having a funeral for my loved one. We've really had to adapt to these absences. And so what I'm watching many of us, including myself, are we struggling to re-engage as we start to open up, as things in our world start to open up? Anybody finding themselves struggling a little bit to re-engage? Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not ready to go to a movie theater yet. There's things that I'm just, I kind of used this example over the weekend. I was talking with friends. And so it's like, here's the door, right? Here's the door that's opening, right? Because we've been in this little cocoon of the pandemic, and now the door's opening, and so we kind of, can you see my foot? I don't know if that's showing, but just, and then we go, And then even sometimes I go. We put 2 feet out, and then you're like, oh, I don't know about that. And we go back in again. And I'm watching this. It's not just me. I'm watching it all over the place. And I think so many of us have gotten comfortable with just our bubble groups. You guys know what I'm speaking about when I say that, right? We all started learning about, whoever knew we had a bubble group? Now everybody knows what that term means. Have we gotten comfortable with just our bubble group? I want you to, just a thought, this is a thought. Have we gotten complacent in our perceived safety? Maybe. There's a commercial I saw, and I don't know. It was either Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards commercial. And this woman and her whole family are in her house, and she is just bragging about, I just remodeled my kitchen, and now we're building a movie theater in our house. This pandemic has taught us, and she goes on, and she said, we don't need to go anywhere anymore. Everything is right here. And that commercial hit me, because I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Right? I'm thinking, what do I see might be missing? Connecting with others. We were wired for connection. We've been wired for connection since the moment we're born. Babies being fed, being diapers changed, but no holding and hugging have died. They conducted an experiment years ago. How awful was that? It took them until hundreds of babies died to say, oh, we better stop this experiment. But it's fact. Back when, think about this. I found this pretty interesting because I had to search the year for this. Go back in your mind, for those of you who are old enough, might not be some of you out there, but for those of you who are old enough, go back to 1971 when the email was first introduced. 1971. That's when email was first introduced. We started emailing people instead of calling. Remember? That was a pretty awesome thing, wasn't it? We all thought that was awesome. Then in 1992, texting became available. Now we could text instead of call. We thought that was great, right? We started pulling away from human connection under the name of, well, this is faster. It's quicker. I'll just send a note. I'll just send them on my way. No, I can't attend, right? I don't have to disappoint anybody on a text or an email, right? We started pulling away. It was easier and faster. And over the long run, what did we realize about human connection? I've done a series of talks on this a couple years ago. H2H, human to human. We started realizing we were losing the human connection, the human factor. It was so much easier to do this and to do this than it was to get in front of people. And we were realizing that technology it became something really good and it had a very good purpose. But then the pendulum went way the other way, didn't it? Isn't this history of almost everything? We go all the way here, and then we go all the way here, and we spend very little time in the middle. Because it's good to have both. But we've definitely spent way too much time on this side, and we're craving connection. Who in here is not craving connection? I don't care, even if you're an introvert, you still need connection with someone. Is that making any sense, or am I the only one that's seen this in my circle of vision? It is so much that we do. We have got to get ourselves refocused. I got to get myself refocused. Oh my goodness. I'm looking at Nicole. If you all should send her a sympathy card. This girl has to deal with me 3 days a week. And I'm in hyper mode most of the time when I see her. And how she loves me through it. And I'm telling you, it's the truth, Nicole. It is her love that gets me through it. And volunteers that come in during the week that get me through it. Because I'm telling you, this pandemic has taken a toll on me. And you may not have seen it. But Michael, my husband, has seen it. My daughter has seen it. And those close to me that work with me on an intimate basis have seen it. And as much as we're about to birth, oh my goodness, I didn't think I was going to go here, but I am going to go here. This is called chemicalization in unity. And it is when we go through an experience, and remember, for those of you, and I talk about this quite often, those of you who have birthed a baby know, in the birth canal, it's painful. It is painful, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot push that baby back up. Right? So no matter how hard we tried with COVID, we could not push that baby back up, could we? And say it doesn't exist. No. We have had to go through it, be creative, figure out how to get that SOB out of there. SOG. Son of a gun. Son of a gun out of there, and we're just about there. And when it's just about there is when it can be the worst. And that's what I'm seeing, a little bits and pieces of. We're almost there. We're almost there. But we're not quite there. So I'm going to go back. And I'm seeing this comfort. You know, think about what got you here in the first place. Or got you here today for the first time. For those of you who are here for the first time. What brought you here? I'm going to tell you that the odds are you were searching for a spiritual community that was in alignment with your truth, your personal truth. And when you come here, I'm telling you my story and what I've witnessed over 30 years. When you come here, there is a feeling of, oh my God, there really is a place that really does not judge who I am, no matter who I am or what I've done. They're not judging me. They're not looking at me like I have 10 heads, like weirdo, right? New Age, which is really ancient age, but we call it New Age. Weirdo. I get it. I have family members telling me that. But I'm telling you, I know it. I've witnessed it. You come here because something is connecting with your personal spiritual truth. And it's aligning with your spiritual truth, whatever that is. It's aligning with it. You know, or it may be brought forth your personal truth forward, like you were allowed to open up to your spiritual truth here when you first came. When you first come, sometimes it challenges your thinking. And for those who are spiritual seekers, you like that. You want to be challenged in your thinking. You don't want to be told what to think. You don't want to be told what to do. And here you're challenged like, ooh, that thought is interesting. Tell me more. It's pretty cool stuff. So that's what got you here. What are you doing now? What are you doing now? It's easy to get complacent. I admit, it's easy to get complacent. You know, I've been in Unity for almost 30 years now. As when I first walked in these doors was 30 years ago. And over 30 years, I've watched many people go in and out of these doors. They come in, they're very excited because, again, there's a place that connects to their spiritual truth. They're very excited. They want to learn more. They want to study more. They want to talk to the minister more, to like absorb, like a sponge, because it's like, for me, it was like, oh my God, I have thought this way since I was 8 years old. I literally know that, but I was told not to think this way at 8 years old because I went to a very traditional religious institution. And there was nothing, I'm not saying anything bad about that. There is nothing bad about that because it got me to where I am now. But this was like, oh my goodness. So I've watched people go in and out, and I think, why do they leave, right? And then 5 years go, and then they're back in here in the back row sobbing. Because we get complacent, and we think, oh, now I'm good. Life is good. I got this non-judgmental thinking behind me. I'm good. And then we deal with the real world out there. And then we try to handle it. We try to handle it. We try to handle it. And then we can't handle it anymore. And we'll come back to a spiritual place that we know will what? Accept you, challenge you, and love you. Because I can tell you, when you come back in this door 5 years, 10 years from now, this is not what you get. Where have you been? Where have you been? No. You get, oh my God, it's so good to see you. It is unbelievable how this works, isn't it? So I'm going back to this COVID thing took us away from church. We had to learn very quickly. I never even heard of Zoom. But when COVID hit, I had to get on the fast track in 7 days to figure out what Zoom was, how do I connect, buy a package, and like, hi everybody. In my jammies from here down, but I looked like I was ready for church. Let's do the opening prayer. It's good to see all of you out there, right? Oh my God, it took church away, and we had to reinvent ourselves in this cocoon called the pandemic. And we did it. We did do it, right? But we got complacent. I got complacent in a different way. But I'm saying, as I look out into our congregation, our Facebook Live audience, so many people, we got complacent because we could. It's much easier to stay in your jammies and go to church. It's much easier to not have to get the kids ready for church. It's much easier to not have to drive to church. I mean, you add in another hour, to some of you it's another 2 hours of your day. Oh, let's just wait. We'll just turn Facebook Live on, or we'll watch it on Zoom later. And then I can fast forward to the parts I don't really care for. Come on, admit it. And if you're on your phone, you just go like this. Zip. Right? Zip. Yes, look at where we've gone. Okay, I'm saying okay to all that. I get it. We had to do it. We've had to figure it out, but what I'm concerned about is, are we going to just do a little of this dance for the next year? Or are we going to take however many years it took us from the internet and texting to realize we've lost H to H? Are we going to realize that doing Zoom church, oh yeah, you got a connection, but you don't have a connection. You can't see me looking at you on Zoom. You think you can, because I had to train myself to figure out where my camera was on the computer so it would make you think I was looking right at you. And I couldn't look too far this way, because then you think, where did Kathy go? Right? So I'm telling you, crazyville. But we figured it out and we did it. But where are we going now? Where are we going now? How do we stay and maintain and grow our community that means so much to all of us? It takes a village, doesn't it? You know, Michael, my husband Michael, most of you know, but in case you don't know, he's a music minister at a Presbyterian church in Xenia. And so we have a lot of church discussions in our house. And it's usually over dinner. And I was talking to him about what I titled my talk, because he knows how much it's been bothering me. Just like Nicole sees, she's probably the closest thing to Michael seeing my exasperation times that I have. And we were talking about what's happening in ministries and churches. And both of us were like, maybe we're not effective anymore. And Michael said, maybe I'm not effective as a music minister anymore. Now, I want to tell you, there are music teachers out there this past year that are getting chastised by parents because they have not been effective music teachers for my child. And my child normally excels in the arts, and you have not done your job this year. How can you be as effective on Zoom? Your teachers, I look at the kids, and their teachers have been trying to be as creative as possible through this time period, and it has been hard for all of us. All of us. And I look at teachers in the rooms, and I know so many of you I've talked to, and I just think, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how they have done it. But they did it, didn't they? And graduations took place, just like last year. This year, some of the schools got to have ceremonies. Some of them still went on Zoom for graduation. We have been very creative as a species. But I hope we don't wait 20 years to realize how much we need connection in order to survive, how much we need community. We did learn how much we took advantage of physical touch, didn't we? How much we took advantage of hugging, how much we took advantage of life and death because we couldn't be there for the births of grandchildren, children, great-grandchildren, and we couldn't be there as our loved ones were making their transition. We now realize how important all this is. Michael and I said, we said, COVID clipped our wings to be effective ministers. And that's true for all ministers, I believe, right now. And for all teachers. That the wings were clipped and we had to figure out how to fly without wings. And that was really hard. I look at Kayleen, oh my God, who would have ever thought she'd start a music studio during COVID? I'm sure people said, what are you thinking? Right? She's got a waiting list now because she figured it out. She figured it out. They kept figuring it out. So where am I going with this? I think I just really want to end with how important it is for this community and for your other communities that you're involved in. We need you. Your communities that you are involved in need you. It's nice to have you in your jammies on Facebook. It really is. And I am so grateful that we connect with people through many states in the UK, in Denmark, on Facebook. That's why we will always have it. We get to connect with people who live far away, and they're getting the message. But we need you. We need you in order for this community to survive. I need you in order for me to survive. You have been the wind beneath my wings. I want you to realize that. You have been the wind beneath my wings that I felt got clipped because of COVID. You kept me flying, and we flew well. Sandy and Adam, did we not fly well through this? Yes. It takes a village to make this production stuff work. They make it look so easy, but you should, if you could only see it. I mean, it just takes time. It takes time. Dedication. Why do they keep doing it? They're not making any money. Why?
Because we love you.
Here's why I do it. Because I get a text message last night, but I didn't see it till this morning. And it's from Adam. And he's got a whiteboard in their kitchen. And he's got a statement on there. It's all about we, no matter what, we weather through the storm. Do you know it by heart, Adam?
Yeah.
It is saying about we weather through the storm, we stay in love, we keep forward motion. You got it, Adam?
Yeah, I wrote, when a storm rolls in, we must remember to love up one another, for when we unite as a family, we win no matter what. And I wrote in red, when we love, we win. Those particular words.
That's why we come together, because you think Adam's volunteering in sound. He's attended more church services here than I have. He's hearing the message every Sunday. So when you volunteer, Steve Schill, you think he's not hearing a word back there because he's always moving. He hears every word I'm saying. Yes, so it's when you volunteer doesn't mean you miss out. So anyway, I could go on. I want to finish with this really quick because I want you to hear this, because this is old Unity writings from Martha Smock. Very few people would remember that Unity author. But I want you to hear this because, this was Martha Smock's. Listen, beloved, to what you are. Okay, I know we're almost done and I know you're ready to go, but I really want you to hear these words. This is for you. You are wonderfully and intricately made. Your body, which you may take for granted, or may despair the cause of its aches and pains and failings, is a holy creation. It is the temple of the living God. You are the very life of God in expression. You are the one with eternal, unending life. You were created perfect. You were meant for perfection. You are a living miracle. Listen, beloved, to what you are. You are a child of God. You are the Christ of God, an expression in the world. In your Christ self, you are triumphant, victorious, and free. Take a breath and listen. Nothing can hurt you, upset you, or make you afraid. As a child of God, as the Christ of God that you are, you rise up out of any limitation. You are not downed by any circumstance. You are not defeated by setbacks or failures. You have the infinite capacity to hold fast, to preserve, to refuse to be discouraged or disheartened. God loves you. He, she sees you as It's spiritual creation. She sees you as you are and what you are becoming. It is the truth about you. You are a living miracle. Namaste. Namaste means to me that the Christ presence in each and every one of you, that I behold that Christ presence in each and every one of you as you behold that Christ presence in me as well. Namaste. Thank you.